What's going on, you guys? Just wanted to come back and do another video here. I got a lot of mentees who've been asking me to put a video up on the subject of financial education. You guys, get your financial education. When I was 16 years old, I met a multimillionaire, and I was hanging out at a local library, back in Nashville, Tennessee. And he was just like, hey, you look pretty sharp. What do you do? And I've always had, the facial hair. And it wasn't nowhere near as thick, of course, but, I had the mustache and, the beard was coming in. And, I've always, I'm the same height that I am now, when I was 16. So naturally, he thought I was older than what I was. And so he's just like, hey, so what do you do? I'm like, well, I'm actually, I'm 16 years old, I'm a full-time student in school, in high school, and I sing, I do music, and I love business. He's like, oh, really? Okay, so, what are your plans? What are your dreams? And, I shared, what I wanted, to do with my life with him, and how I wanted to, someday open up and start my own record label. And he asked me a very simple question. He said, what are you doing to get your financial education? And I really didn't know what he meant by that. I didn't know how to answer that question. And all he did was he told me that wealthy people do things differently than the poor and middle class. He said wealthy people teach their kids how to start big businesses and how to invest. Wealthy people teach their kids how to create assets that generate a weekly and monthly cash flow. He said, if you want time freedom, you have to learn how to have your money work for you on a weekly and monthly basis. And he really just educated me and put my mind in a different state of mind. I was open to that, because, I'm a Sagittarius. We don't like being tied down. We like to be on the go. I don't like anybody controlling my time and controlling my money and telling me what I have to do. I don't like anybody telling me what I have to do. So he was talking my language. So what he did was he recommended that I read a book, and I'm going to recommend this book to you guys. It's a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And he also recommended another book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And this is the man who inspired me to want to be a motivational speaker with an emphasis on financial education, because I believe in it so much. So many of us are stuck working dead-end jobs that don't give us pleasure, that we don't want to be working, but we're working these jobs out of obligation because we need to take care of our residual bills. And, the truth of the matter is, if we had other options, if we had other choices, we would not be working these jobs. And then there are some people, who went to college, got the degrees, and they got into a field that they originally started out loving and really wanted to be in, but then all of a sudden, later on down the line, 5, 10, 20 years, that job that was their dream job became, an energy drainer. We as Americans, the number one killer for us is stress. We are the only country just about that doesn't have mandatory vacation time. And I find that kind of strange, for us to be the wealthiest, supposedly the wealthiest country in the world, and we have all this opportunity, vacation is not mandated, and doctors are recommending vacations, as the number one stress reliever. Being out here in Vegas, for over a month has really been therapeutic for me, because I'm away from what I'm used to, and that's a good feeling. I love, anytime I get a chance to get away to D.C., I love it, and I got friends who live in D.C., and they don't appreciate it because that's where they're from. They're used to, what they see every day. And half of them haven't even done all there is to do in D.C. There's a ton of stuff to do, tons of art and, from music, dance, fashion, all types of stuff. But, they're just so used to being there that, they take it for granted. And even down in Nashville, where I'm from, they say that, oh, my God, Nashville is just so awesome, and there's all this stuff to do. There's all these arts and different things of that nature. But I'm from Nashville, so I don't take the time to look up what's going on in Nashville, and I'm sure there's a lot to do, and there is. But, the fact of the matter is we need to be able to get away from what we're used to. And I love financial education because it gives you the opportunity to create time freedom, which is most important. Yeah, you have money freedom, but do you have time freedom? When I was 17 years old, working with one of the first businesses that I ever started, it was a franchise business called Prepaid Legal. And one of the guys that I met, very successful in the company, but he was in corporate America for 15 years prior to joining Prepaid Legal. And he was making about $500,000 a year working in corporate America, but he missed his first grandchild being born because his employers needed him to be in Germany for some huge business deal. And he's like, well, hey, I can't go. My grandchild is being born on that weekend, so you're going to have to find somebody else. And their response was, oh, really? Well, if we have to find somebody else, you have to find another job. So the point is, you guys, I don't know what you want, but I want time freedom. That's what's important to me, and then there's certain things that I want out of life that require a certain amount of money to be made in order for me to get those things I want. So money is not important, but it does affect everything that is important to us. The quality of lives that we live, the time we can spend, with our friends and with our family, where we can go and how often we can go and how long we can stay. So I hate when people say money isn't important, and the only people that are saying that are people who are broke. So I mean, when it comes to money, there's two sides. There's lack and there's abundance. I would much rather be on the abundance side of money versus the lack side of money. And the people who say money doesn't matter, those are the people who are not thinking about, how much more of a benefit they could be to others. So money is important because it does affect everything that is important to us. So all the people that say money is not important, just quit your job. Why are you working? It's not important. So guys, get your financial education. Like I said, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki is a good basis to get that foundation that you need. It's very simple, straightforward. Anybody can understand. It's not complicated. And that's what I do in the seminars that I teach and with the companies that I work with. My focus is financial education, because if I can free you from your job, then you're free to focus on your dreams. If I can help you build a residual paycheck that takes care of your residual bills, then you have a choice on whether or not you want to continue to work this job out of obligation that you're just working to take care of your residual bills. So that's what I'm all about, you guys. Financial education, I think it's a must. I'm all about generational wealth. And if you want to create generational wealth, I want generations upon generations to be okay and be well off because of the sacrifices that I made in my life. Bill Gates, when he's gone, generations upon generations are going to be well taken care of. Rockefeller, he's gone, but his family's well taken care of. So, like I said, money is worthless if you don't have the education behind money. So, like I said, you guys, financial education all the way. Let's get it. Let's make it happen. Peace out.